Okay, Fabiola, let's pretend that we have just started and haven't been talking for 20 minutes already. Good morning. Thank you for meeting me, or good afternoon,
Hi,
actually.
Sean. Good morning.
Can we start then by, can you just share a little bit about yourself and a little bit about who you are, where you live, and
Mhm.
your real estate experience?
Sure. I'm Fabiola, a lawyer who was working or is working since 2016 in Marbella. Originally, I'm coming from Peru, but I've been living many years in Germany. So when I came here, my experience was first as expat, trying to find my place because I study law and then business administration in Germany. I decided to continue my career studying a master degree in Malaga in taxation. So my first job, it was in a law firm making taxes, analyzing litigation and inspections with the tax office. So my background actually is very financial. When I decide to start with other activity as a real estate in the real estate industry, is when I realized that it's a very interesting field where you can combine many subjects from my previous experience. I've been dealing with developers, projects, and also with purchases in the last 3 years. It's other job, but the financial part is very important. So when I wanted to set up my company in this industry, I wanted to create something like a hybrid. So Innova Living, this is the company, is not purely a real estate agency. It's more a hybrid, and we combine tax legal service, the legal part of the due diligence from a purchase, and the proper purchase, the real estate part. So one-stop shop. And this is very effective, especially for people who is coming in different parts of the world. They don't speak the language. What they want is somebody, a local, somebody who has already expertise and advise them in all these fields. Because when you want, as investor, if you want to buy a property, normally you need also somebody who advise you from what is the tax situation if you invest from, let's say, Dubai or England. The second thing is you can set up a company and buy the property in this way. So you need somebody who set up the company. And finally, you need somebody that you trust to search something that fit in your investment. Yeah, this is my approach now, and this is the way that I start last year.
And just to mention something that you told me off camera beforehand, you started Innova Living a year ago and you're already successful and you're fully booked out for the foreseeable future. That's right, isn't it?
Yes, I must say, it's not
So I
just
just wanted,
luck.
I just wanted, no, I didn't, I wasn't going to say it was luck. I just wanted to highlight that and say congratulations because I know how hard you
Thank
worked on it
you.
because we were meeting every week or almost every week during the some of the
Yeah,
early stages.
yeah. It's not just luck because I've been working with my network to build also my own system 2 or 3 years before. So now I have the results from this part. What for me, uh, why I contact you, why I was actually not really prepared to be more online or to be secure on the camera, it was because I was in the past working with behind my computer with a lot of documents. I explain my clients, yes, what it's about or the whole process. But now, because everything goes quickly and the way to work from many people is changing, my clients, they don't expect to meet me in my office, make an appointment at a notary, shaking hands. Everything, it will go online. The first meeting, the first conversations, everything. This is the part that when you build trust is online. And for that, I needed to feel more secure with my English because I speak well Spanish, of course, German, but my English was good, but for me, not enough. And for that, I needed you, a person who is not just somebody who help people in real estate, is also who has a method and make something tailored for you. You know my deficits, you know what I need, and you are making something special for me. So it is more effective. I have the chance to have AI, many apps, but at the end, this is, in my opinion, that's my point of view, I need somebody who give me a feedback. Are you getting better? You can do that. You can do this. And also a feedback which is realistic. I don't want to hear, no, you are doing well. No, I want that somebody is also a strength like me. And this is the reason that I choose you.
Did you read my questions before we started?
No.
Okay, because you've, I mean,
So,
you just perfectly answered the question I was going to ask you. I'll say it anyway because I think it's worth mentioning. It
yeah.
supports what you were saying. I was going to say to you that given that you've already moved abroad and learned the language, you know, this is you live in Spain now, as you said, you're from Peru, but
Mm-hmm.
you've also moved to Germany, learnt the language, been successful there. Then you've moved to Spain, where you don't necessarily need English if you didn't want to. And my question was going to be then, what motivated you to seek help with English, given that you've got a background of doing it without well, I don't know actually. I don't know if I imagine you did have some German classes when you were in Germany, did you?
Yes, German.
Yes.
German is a very difficult language.
But
Um,
so maybe then actually we could, rather than repeating everything we've just spoken about
yeah.
though, let's just move on from that because you mentioned that you know, you were thinking ahead. I think you were thinking ahead about putting yourself online, meeting people online specifically, and using English. So,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think before we started? What do you think was the biggest challenge that you faced with English? Because I mean, from our first time we met, we could speak comfortably. You know, you didn't have a problem. I told you in the beginning you didn't have a problem speaking English, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously you have bigger dreams, bigger ambitions, and some challenges. So, what was the biggest challenge that you faced at the beginning?
I think for somebody who doesn't have English as a mother language, um, it doesn't matter from which nationality. What we see in internet are successful entrepreneurs or real estate agents. Probably the mother language is English. Of course, in my case, I compare myself with them. The standard that I wanted to achieve, it was very high. So, but I started with you also to understand that this progress take time because it's not our language. So we need to practice. And you give me also homework, let's say. My schedule is pretty heavy. I didn't have the time, but even just with our lessons, just talking 1.5 hours per week, it was enough to see the results after 3 months. And because you have a method, And you were helping me exactly where I needed. At the beginning, it was the confidence to say, mm, good, you, because you come from Spain, probably you will have problems with the B or the intonation in some words. So let's work on that. And when I started to become more confident, I saw that I have the potential to improve. And it, actually, if we continue, and this is what we will do, I know I will not talk perfect like a UK citizen, but I will make it better. And yeah, this is the reason that I'm happy also working on my skills, because the result is more security, more, finally, more clients, happy clients. And yeah, this is the best way to invest in the business too. Mhm.
I think that's it's really good to hear that I didn't tell you to say that, did I, Fabiola? You've just, you're not following a script. You've said that
No.
yourself. So it's good to see that it's really valuable when you can shift the mindset from I need to learn this language perfectly to I need to improve these skills in the language, because perfect is an illusion, so to
Yeah.
speak. But introducing yourself on a video for social media, for example, is a skill. You
Mhm.
can do it badly one day and you can improve it the next day. And you mentioned there that you were not the best, shall we say, at doing homework. It
No.
wasn't something you were able to do frequently. But one of the things that I think it was quite early on, it was definitely within the first 3 or 4 weeks anyway. One of the assignments I gave you to do that you did do was recording yourself, introducing yourself.
Mhm.
Do you remember?
Yes, yes, yes.
So
And yeah, continue. Sorry, I interrupt you. Mhm.
no, that's okay. And well, why don't you tell me how it was? I'll tell you in a minute what I thought about it and why I remember it so vividly. But
Mm.
why? What do you remember from that assignment, from that homework task of recording yourself?
Uh, yeah, it's difficult when you see yourself the first time on camera and also heard your voice, what I hate. Then you are started to doubt about that you will success making videos. How is possible that I will share these embarrassing videos with all the world? But it started to be more easy with the practice and this confidence that you give me as a coach. And it was a guidance. No, let's do that. Just the first push probably was not enough. It needed to be a reminder every month or every week. Do that. So in this way, we not procrastinate something that make us feel bad. My comfort zone is talking in Spanish and German. And yeah, you put me also in the situation that I needed. And it was not just rational. So we needed to do that. And I'm sure in 1 year, if we continue in this way, the way that I'm talking will be also different. So because part of your job is to pushing. Mhm.
Yeah, and you mentioned the video was embarrassing. Yeah, you said it's embarrassing to hear your voice, and that's a common reaction. And I'm not going to show the video because I still have the video because you sent it to me, but I won't show it. Don't worry. I'm going to show a different video in a moment, a better video. But I just want
Thank
to
you.
I want to describe it how I remember it, and you tell me if this is the same, because how I didn't watch it before. I should have watched it really to see if I'm correct. But in my memory, the way it was it was like watching a different person. It was kind of
Mm.
strange actually, because I thought, when we started, I work with different clients, and some clients they can't really speak English when we start. So we are also, yes, we're working on things like the mindset and how to think about learning as an adult
Mm-hmm.
and think about the business and the skills, not the perfect language. But some people, they're
Mm-hmm.
starting from a lower level. We didn't have that problem. So I knew I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to teach you basic English. And then when I saw the video, it was like, oh, it was like a different Fabiola. I spent 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you were talking like you are now, fluent, confident, and then it was like you kind of, as you said, it was difficult. You found it tricky, and even at the end of the video, you kind of stand up and go,
Yeah.
you walk off the camera like, no,
No,
ugh,
it's not me.
I'm not happy with this, yeah.
Mhm.
And would that be a fair description, or am I making it worse than it
Yes,
was?
yes, but I'm sure it's not just mine experience, it's
It's not, no.
everyone, and I'm not particularly shy. It's just if you see yourself on camera uh, talking in other languages, a really, really, uh, yeah, feeling, no? Because then you're so, you see every detail. Probably you're very picky with yourself. And yeah, but there's somebody like you need to say, hey, okay, this is the beginning, but it will be not the end. And this is what happened.
And as you said in our conversation before we started, when you're dealing with investors, for example,
Mhm,
they want to know numbers. They don't,
mhm,
they want to hear you confidently know what you're talking about. They don't
yeah.
necessarily care if you did it in a perfect accent or not. And it's very logical. Like I can say that, and you're like, yep, that makes sense. But it's much more difficult to accept it and act on it. But you did, and that was so. Jumping forward, a few months, I was encouraging you to start posting earlier than you did. Actually, why don't we actually, yeah, before we look at the video and look at where you got to, what maybe actually that's a good question. I was encouraging you to post almost every week, if you remember. I was
Yeah.
after we worked on it a little bit and
Mhm.
you improved, but you held off for a while before you started. Today you're posting in English regularly.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that early hesitancy. So after we'd had that first task, that first struggle,
Mhm.
what happened over the months after that?
So when we started to make the first videos, your advice and some the way also that I made that, no, not sitting in an office. This is better if you move. Say this with this intonation. It was really helpful, and it came the time when I engaged my digital manager now, or social media content manager. She said, okay, we will start this weekend with a video. And I said, "Ooh, I don't feel prepared. But actually, it's something that you told me. You need to do that. And it will be the first version of you. And then it will come the better version. And I'm hoping that next year or in 3 years it will get better and better. But I needed to start. So finally, the combinations of our lessons, then these deadlines that I have with her to make content, put me in the situation. Okay, now I sometimes I don't know exactly how to pronunciate this word. Probably I use my German instead my English. Um, but it works.
I should really also be thanking your social media manager because, sometimes I'm not under any illusions that people, that I'm the only person who forces people or change makes them change. I know that, like you said, you need to hear things from different voices, different many, many times sometimes before finally it clicks. So I'm glad you
Yeah.
found a good social media manager who is not afraid to push you a little bit and say, okay, I know you're not comfortable, but we need to do this. Let's do it. Because it was a surprise for me when it popped up on my social media feed, this
Mm-hmm.
video of you talking. And I thought, well, okay, we've done it. cracked the you,
Finally.
you've cracked that no, because sometimes the first there's an expression which has completely escaped my mind right now. It will come back to me in a minute. There's an expression for when you break through. Sometimes that first thing is just what you need to do. That first post is the one that then changes things, and then after that, it becomes easier. Yeah, would you agree?
Exactly, exactly. But for that, the preparation before, probably some of your students are more, yeah, they have more courage. But in my case, I needed to be secure. You was taking me from my comfort zone, um, and I was thinking, no, I will not be prepared this year. But I know it needed to be this moment. And when I started to remember, probably everything it was already integrated in my brain, the things went more smoothly. Uh, yeah, but this is because I've been working with you before. Hmm?
Good. Well, I'm happy to hear that, but I also think the setup was really good. What I like about I'm going to play this video now. Let me share the screen because I'd like to play the video to show anyone watching this what I'm talking about in terms of how much you improved. So just to recap, yeah, as I
Hmm.
said, the first video assignment I gave you, you uh you found it embarrassing and difficult and gave up after about a minute, and then now you're making videos like this. So I'd like to play this and then just get your immediate opinion, Fabiola, about how you feel about this now, watching this today. I don't know how often you probably have already watched this a few times, right? I don't imagine you sit at home re-watching the video, so I know this is going to
No,
also
no,
be a
no.
bit uncomfortable.
I saw that just once and I said, okay, it needs to be.
Well, great. Okay, you've only watched it once. Great. So let's get the reaction now, a few
I
months later.
no.
I,
Um,
I think it's
yeah.
good. I'll tell you why I think it's good after, but I want to hear what you think first. So let's hit play and then see what we think after.
Hi, my name is Fabiola. Soy la fundadora de Innova Living und ich kann gerne auch in 3 Sprachen euch unterstützen, wenn ihr nach Marbella oder la Costa del Sol auswandern möchten. I'm originally from Peru, but I have been living many years in Germany, 12 years. Came here actually because my ex, at that time, we wanted to change our life. We decided to really start from scratch. And it was more his idea to come here, even we didn't have family, we don't have friends at that time. It was more a journey to find ourselves. At the beginning, it was even difficult for me because I speak Spanish, but it was a culture shock that I have at the beginning. I study a master's degree in the University of Malaga just to follow all my career, being a lawyer, studying business administration, and here taxation. For me, it was clear this is the way that I wanted to work because it's the combination about working hard, but also enjoying the life and the family at the weekends. Way that I started to discover that this is my place was when I in contact with many foreigners, expats like me, from different kind of worlds. So now we start to be together. I feel like I'm in the right place and we want to build something. So doesn't matter which is the reason. Finally, we are here all in this search. Oh my God. Anyway, I will be very critical with myself. So,
Well,
but
we're not doing a if we were doing one of our sessions, then
uh-huh.
yes, I would go through and talk about some language points because we obviously we still perfection
Yeah.
isn't important, but we want to improve. But that's not what we're doing. We're celebrating and your success, and I want to hear how you feel about it. So don't criticize. Just tell me. Oh, yeah, we can do that later. Like, how do you feel watching that back?
Yeah, I see, and I need to be also sincere with myself. Eh, I'm saying it's getting better. It will be better. But I'm already started to, as an entrepreneur, you know, I started to understand that there is not a perfection. There are versions, and yeah, I'm happy, and I will celebrate also that I break the first barrier, and I'm looking forward to break the next ones.
So can I tell you why I like it then? So I said I can give you some criticisms if we wanted to,
Mhm.
but I'm not going to do
Yes,
that
you
here.
you
I'm not.
know
I'm
that I need
no, no,
that.
no. I'm not going to do that here. I'll tell you that I'll give you some criticisms later if you want, but I don't think it's necessary as you've made and released other videos since.
Mhm,
So it's always best to focus on the most recent version. But what I liked about that and what I still like about it now is it's just very real,
mhm.
and especially on, my LinkedIn feed is mostly real estate agents, thousands of them from around the world. And the average piece of content you see on there is I would say it's very corporate. Does that mean anything to you if I say very corporate?
Um, I guess what you mean.
Yeah,
But
it's
if you, mhm,
yeah, I'll explain a bit more. When I say corporate, I mean the there's a person speaking, but the
mhm.
person could be any person.
Ah,
The
mm,
person could be a robot. It's almost like someone doing an impression of a person. An
mm,
impression like this is how a businessman sounds. This is how a
yeah,
lawyer sounds. It's that kind of,
exactly,
not always.
exactly.
I'm not criticizing everyone on LinkedIn, but there's a lot of that. It's very
Hmm.
difficult for people, and because it's difficult.
Yeah,
Whereas that video is clearly you. You can see that, I can feel your social media manager. Maybe it's just because I know you as well, but I can feel your social media manager and whoever else is behind the camera just kind of encouraging you and
yeah.
saying it's okay to keep going.
Be natural.
Just be natural, go. Uh, yeah,
Yes.
you can see that, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that. This is the difference between um 2025 versus, if you were making a television commercial in the 90s or something, if you were that kind of actor or actress, it's not the same thing.
Hmm.
I think you get a sense of who you are from that video.
Hmm.
So anyway, that's what I liked about it, and that's what I think other people will see when they see it. And as you say, each video you make is getting better and better. So I'm glad that you broke down that, broke through that wall and started posting, because it's a big thing. And
Yes.
I was going to ask you a question about how your confidence has changed, but since we began, but we've kind of already talked about that multiple times. So maybe just to wrap up, you've already spoken as well several times. You've very graciously told me how the method we use worked for you, why you think it's important, why it works.
Mm.
But I wondered if you had any comments on, what would you say to someone, so either an agent or another business owner who is putting off improving their English, because it's a big thing. Lots of people, as you know, they're very busy,
Mhm.
and they always
Yeah.
say, I need to improve my English, but I'm really busy. And I know that it's been difficult for you to fit in our sessions with your own busy schedule. So what would you say to someone who's been putting it off?
Yeah. I remember one of mm, the points from your the structure, the method that you use is to make something concrete, not just talking. It's about to also measure the progress, and um, this way to see as a something that okay is in your list is as a priority, because this is the way that you will have clients, you will provide a good service, but also it needs to be it needs to have a schedule. It needs to have a method and somebody who control it. We are really busy. Real estate agents, they need to catch the client and the opportunities. There is a beautiful phrase in English. Um, when an iron is hot, you need to please help me.
It's a
When the
strike
iron
to
strike,
strike while the iron's hot.
strike when exactly. That means many things you cannot plan as a real estate agent. Sometimes you are working with your clients, making the contract, the reservation contract, and in the last minute. So I know that in the perfect world, you will have a frame for you where you can also have new skills, learn something. But waiting before that happen is just procrastinate. Is just seeing, okay, I will do that when I have the time. This time will never come. So our conversation now is when I have a renovation. After that, I have some clients from Norway, also a video conference. So, but it is do that, do that, and start. This is the best way to start to improve. Just start.
I have no criticism of that comment. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Okay, Fabiola, I know you need to go. So do you have any final comments or things you want to say? You've already said such, nice, gracious things already. So I don't know if there's anything we haven't covered. What's on your mind?
Um, I tried also to be innovative and try to use the AI to be quickly, but I think because you are really involved and also in our the way that we are working. So sometimes you bring also the technical part with, so you know better than me what is about uh, this application. So you give also suggestions about the tools. And yeah, with these tools, and you as a coach who is making something tailored, I think is the perfect combination to really improve and be confident in English.
People might not believe me that I didn't write a script, but
No,
that's perfect. Thank you.
and I'm
That's
not
exactly
prepared.
that's exactly what I would want you to say. Thank you very much. No, I really appreciate that, Fabiola. We'll end the interview there.